Hello and welcome to Reviews of Ryan, and today I'm going to be talking about the brand new streaming thriller film, Borrego. This film was directed by Jesse Harris, and this is his director debut. Thank you guys for clicking on this video. If you like movie reviews and Blu-ray hauls, you're in the right spot. Hit that subscribe button, give the video a like, and comment if you've even heard of this film or you plan on seeing this film. Now without further ado, let's dive into my thoughts. A young botanist moves to a small desert town to study plants, and as she is studying these plants, a plane crashes and she is kidnapped by an inexperienced drug mule. This film stars Lucy Hale, Nicholas Gonzalez, Olivia Trujillo, Jorge Jimenez, and Lenar Gomez. So I did not watch a trailer for this film going into it. I really didn't know too much of what this film was going to be about. The only reason I even knew that this film even exists is the fact that Lucy Hale posted this on her Instagram and I saw it and I was like, hey, what the heck? I'll check it out. So I can tell you going into this film that there is not a lot of positives, but the two positives I have, they're so minor, I don't think it's going to convince you guys to watch this film. So my two positives are the cinematography is pretty good in this. I really like the shots of the desert. I really feel like we get a good sense of the desert and they're in the middle of nowhere in this desert and it's very dry and she's studying these plants and it looks really good on screen. And then my second positive, well, I like Lucy Hale, so I watched it for her. And I have to say that's really about it with the positives. The biggest problem with this film is the characters just are written really bad. They're not really developed enough. Throughout the film, you have this hour and I think it's 40 minutes journey with this drug mule guy and Lucy Hale. And honestly, their characters are really badly written. It's not that necessarily that the acting is bad, it's just they're not developed. They do this scene, it's about 70 minutes in when they're sitting around this fire and they try to give these characters some kind of life and kind of make you feel kind of sympathy for both characters, but I felt nothing because they do such a terrible job of writing these characters. And then throughout the film, as they're walking through the desert, they have this really intense music as something really intense is about to happen. But really nothing is happening. The movie is taking it so serious on the thriller aspect that there's nothing really thrilling happening. So you have this music that is just really inconsistent and really unnecessary at parts. To give you an idea of just how slow this film is, you could walk out to your mailbox, grab your mail, pop in a TV dinner, bring in your trash cans, and literally 15 minutes have gone by and you've literally missed nothing of this film. And then you have this side story with this sheriff and his daughter, and honestly it doesn't add anything to the film because again, they're not really good written characters. And they just kind of show up and they really don't develop these characters. So again, you don't feel anything for them. And then add into the fact that the head honcho guy that's over this drug mule guy, he is super generic. And honestly, he's not even really much in the film. So there is no really impact of him really there or really being this big old tough head honcho guy. He really isn't much in the movie, and when he does show up, it's about the last 15 minutes of the movie. And honestly, by the time the film ends and the generic ending that it has, it just really isn't that exciting. Lucy Hale said on her Instagram, this is her first action movie. I don't really see necessarily that she really did much in this film as far as action goes. There's a little bit, but honestly, I don't really feel like she really does a ton in this film. I just think realistically who wrote her character, it was just really poor and it doesn't add anything to the film. There's nothing really too much to get excited about this film. By the time it ends, you're like, wow, okay, cool. But I really didn't have any type of connection with any of the characters. So with all these thoughts in mind, I'm going to give a score of this film a 1.5 out of 5. It's just not good, guys. I would skip it. Maybe if you like Lucy Hale, maybe you end up watching this anyway. But honestly, it's just not a good film. Thank you guys for sitting through this review. I know it was a much negative review, but I have to tell you my honest thoughts on these films, and this was just not a good one, and you guys should skip it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys on my next review.